And we are live. Welcome to Office Hours with Arrow, a LinkedIn Live event hosted by Arrow leaders who care about what senior living looks like. I'm your host and producer, Rachel Sheehan, and today's topic is all about beach ball. And y'all, I've been waiting to talk about this topic because I'm so excited to have you all here. So I want to get started. First, if we could just go around, you can introduce yourself, what your position is, and then I want to see these shirts you guys are wearing. Show me your outfit of the day. So, Sydney, let's start with you.
So my name is Sydney, and I am the Resident Services Director, and I am a part of the Burlington Creek Beavers.
I love it. He's so cute. I'm assuming he's a he. I don't know. Emily?
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily. I am the brand new business office director at Vitalia Solon, but formerly the resident services director. I sadly don't have my shirt today, but I'm the captain of the Solon Strikers.
I love it. And Katie?
I am the executive director at Vitalia Stowe. I was a former resident services director twice over. I'm representing the Stowe Ballers.
But your heart belongs to Emily's team, I think. We'll get a little bit into that. But Mandy, you're next.
And hello, everyone. My name is Mandy Wilkes. I'm a regional director of human resources. And when it comes to the beach volleyball world, y'all know me as the referee. But today I'm in a community. I'm at Princeton and at Least Summit, and I am representing Princeton's elites.
Oh, and Mandy, why are you the referee? I think we have to dig into that.
I'm the referee because no one wants me on their team because I'm way too competitive, and if we lose, I'm not going to like you.
Okay, and way too good. It's just unfair advantage.
I'm so competitive, but I know all the rules, so give me the whistle. I'm good.
I love it. That's awesome. I'm so excited. This is great. So yes, about the t-shirts everyone's wearing. So we actually design logos. We get the residents help come up with the names for the teams. And then we have a logo design contest and the residents vote on the design. And then they get these beautiful t-shirts like y'all are wearing. And actually in the past, we've had sponsorships and things like that to help us create these shirts and get the logos designed and everything. So if you are listening and like what we're talking about and maybe want to sponsor, hit me up after this. But with that, we will get into, and also Mandy, Cassie said you can be on her team. So
we'll get into that competitive team with Cassie tweeting.
I love it. So much fun. So Katie, obviously your title here, Chair Volleyball Pioneer. Please tell us why that is. Bring us all the way back.
Well, I can't take credit for inventing the game. Wish I could. But about 9 years ago, when I started at the Gables of Hudson, which Arrow came in and made at Hudson Grand, I took over the position of activity director, which is resident services, and they had a team, a chair volleyball team that the former director had. It was actually starting to disintegrate, and some of the residents brought it up, like, we played this game. So I researched it. It looked like it started somewhere in California. So this is circa 2015. And I started this team up again, and we were the Hudson Heat, and we just played against each other. And we had... Well, there's 12 players to play. We had sometimes 8, sometimes 12. We made it work, and the team kept getting stronger and stronger. And then I found other teams that were playing. So Laurel Lake, which is another senior living facility in the area, would play. The Twinsburg Senior Center would play. So we started having these tournaments and these matches that were so much fun. We started to get other Arrow buildings to start making teams. And then that's when it really took off. And now Mandy and the BODs all have it part of the HR movement as well.
I love that. And Katie, I remember because we were on an all call one time and we had I think you helped pass out the official rule book because there's actually I remember my residents just played lollygaggy, and then Katie's like, no, we have rules.
Yeah, and I'm all about the fun. I think that's the number one thing about chair volleyball is that your residents are having fun. But when you add some rules to it, it gives it a little bit more meaning. You'll find some residents are just there for the fun, and other ones are we're competitive. So it's a little something for everyone, just those that just want to have a good time and those that want to be competitive. And when I moved over to Solon, I really had a lot of residents interested. So we had those teams separated, where the ones that just wanted to play for fun, and then the ones that were really competitive. And we had so many players, it even became grouped. So we had like the A team and the B team. So we even played against other teams at their level, which really made it more meaningful for them as well. That if you were an A player, you were playing other A players. So it was really therapeutic that they were at their level.
Yeah, and I love it too because I'm not one who exercises unless I'm chasing a ball. That's what I say. So, like, if I play sports, yes, I'll get the benefit. So I think that's what's awesome too is you're pulling in those residents who maybe don't always come to the exercise classes and fitness classes that we have, but they're still getting that experience. So,
To them, it's not exercise, but
right.
they're getting it.
Yep.
It's a sneaky way to get your seniors to exercise.
Yeah.
So on my background too, I'm a recreational therapist. So that was
Mhm.
always one of my things is, how to get them to want to exercise, because it seemed like work. Cheer volleyball's fun, but you're
Yeah.
still getting that workout.
That's awesome. And actually, one of the comments we just got was, I love the idea of a Aero Beach Ball committee that are responsible for rule keeping and team tracking. Now, you all probably know, do you have residents who call out the rules on each other? Yeah. I love that. So much fun. Well, awesome. And Katie, we just have you to thank for sure for like how big this has gotten, because now with almost, I don't know what we're at now, 40 communities. That's how many beach ball teams we have, which is just crazy. So very cool. And you kind of passed the torch over here to Emily. Emily, do you want to
I did.
Yes. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, Katie did really establish like the foundation of it across the board, and especially here at Vitalia Solon. It's on the calendar 3 to 4 times a week. It's a staple of our programs here. I talk about it now that I'm the BOD. I talk about it in interviews as well as we play it during orientation. But inheriting the team, when I first started, I took those rules home and I studied them, because with our competitive team, like they were making sure that I knew what I was talking about. And like you mentioned, they do try to make the calls and stuff, but we kind of have the saying, well, Emily's the ref, so she makes the call, which kind of adds that pressure on me too, but it makes it more fun and engaging. And yeah, we definitely have a wide range of residents that play. Those that are on our travel team, we like to call it. They come, they play. We're fortunate to be able to play one of our sister communities, Vitalia North Olmsted. We play them every month. And a couple other non-Aero buildings too. We travel to Hudson Meadows. We play the Solon Senior Center twice a month. We've even challenged Omni Smart Living a few times. We haven't seen them in a while. I think we were beating them just too constantly. They haven't came back. But
so Omni, if you're listening, she's calling you out.
That's right. Come see us again. And they would bring donuts, so it added that extra little. They were sweetening the deal for our residents. And then we also play the Solon High School every once in a while. They have a really awesome organization called the Young Hearts Club. And they just get so much enjoyment of playing with the seniors. And I don't think they expected them to be so good too. I mean, I try to tell them we practice 3 times a week, and I mean that. So we had grandparents play their grandchildren the last time we played, and it was just really nice to see that, not only a sense of community, but like with their family as well. It was awesome.
That's awesome. And I did want to show a couple pictures too, because I think this is kind of gives everyone a visual of like what it looks like, the setup, the 3 chairs across, 6 total on each side. And what is our favorite rule, Mandy?
Oh my goodness. Rule number 1 is your bottom cannot leave the chair. You have to keep your butt in the chair.
I love it. And I think that's such a huge rule, because if you are playing with like kids or, whoever, it's going to happen. So it's fun to call them out on that. But just all these awesome, like playing against each other. I just love, oh, there you go, Sydney, your new team. We'll get into that a little bit, but so much fun. But I do want to touch. So Emily, now that you're the BOD, you have an extra role in beach ball, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned earlier that our new hires, our orientees, part of their day is actually taking a break from the paperwork and learning, our handbook, and actually playing chair volleyball with our staff, with the residents. I can definitely see at first they're like, we're doing what today? Like they, you know, you don't ever expect that when you come in for an orientation, but we are not like other companies. And it really just, we talked about earlier, like it allows them to kind of let loose and just find enjoyment. And that's one thing that we want our employees to feel is enjoyment when they come, you know, to work. It definitely bridges the gap, or any gap there would be between the new hires and our current residents too. They get to know them right away and kind of see who they're going to be working with. So it's been really fun. It also gets very competitive too. So
It's kind of like an initiation. Like, welcome to the team. Yeah. This is our team. It's your initiation.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's engaging. It breaks up orientation, which Aero prides itself on their orientation. And we don't want to say our orientations are like boring or anything like that. So they're fun. They're engaged. We slip in the education part. But a part of that is let's have fun. Let's get our heart racing and have some activity as well.
Yeah. Mandy, do you want to elaborate more on like all the different ways we involve employees with our beach ball?
Okay, so I'm going to go back. So after Katie came into our lives and showed us this wonderful program that we should start doing, and Aero's like, yes, let's do it. So 3 years ago is when Aero put together a growth summit, and it was for home office employees and EDs. So at that point is when we rolled it out to all of the executive directors to take back. Yes, thank you for this photo. Next, thank you. So we rolled it out to all of our executive directors to take it back to the community to get the hype going. With this, we even did a road to the championship bracket where our EDs were captains of teams. There was about 7 to 10 on a team, and we played a bracket out, winner take all. That year, I have to say, the Wildwood Warriors, with the leadership of Dan Shield out of Joplin, Missouri, took home the prize. Rachel, I believe you were on that. Would you like to talk a little bit about how much fun that was?
I mean, seriously, like I love playing sand volleyball and everything too, but even people who don't normally love that, like they had so much fun with it. And also, I mean, it helps when you win, of course, but it's fun no matter what. And I think what was awesome about it is like you were totally mixed up with people you may have just even met that day, which I think is cool. And that's exactly how it is with orientation and everything like that. It just breaks the ice.
Yeah, we rolled out team names. You had team colors. You even had team bandanas to represent yourself. It was so much fun. I mean, and the rules, we played by the rules. I even had a guest referee on the other side because, you know, you got 6 people going. I can't see all the bottoms at one time. Who's up? Stephanie Harris, the CEO and president, even set as the line judge on the other side for me. So it was fun by all. Got a little competitive, which was so much fun. And then from there, we did take it to the communities, and the communities like, yes, here's all of our team names. And we were getting shirts galore and happiness. So then another thing we decided to do was Aero prides itself in our job fairs. And if you've never been to an Aero job fair, ladies and gentlemen, you are missing out. It's a theme. We've done themes from 3 years ago. It was Come Grow With Us. Last year it was Let's Flamingo, with flamingos everywhere. This year, ladies and gentlemen, we rolled back to the 90s, and we are having so much fun rocking out the 90s. But a part of that is we play beach volleyball. We have the whole course set up. We every session before everyone goes into interview, that's our icebreaker. We go in and it just loosens up the employees. And again, just like the orientation, if they didn't come to one of our job fairs and they come to orientation, they're like, what? We're going to do what? But they have so much fun together. And then you get to see like, okay, who's those little competitive ones or who's the little shy ones? But those shy ones, careful. They'll surprise you. They really like it as well. So it's a huge part of our job fairs as well.
And I love it because you're also getting to observe people in a different way than you just do in a regular interview, which I think is so innovative.
And we have, like, we invite the residents, like, it's not just the orientation, the residents come down for job fairs. So another key thing we get to see is how does this potential employee, how are they interacting, one with each other, and then two with the residents as well.
That's awesome. And does anybody, I know some people, today's orientation day. So did anybody have an orientation today that went really well? Katie, yeah?
Yes, we played today, and they were so proud that I was wearing my shirt. And the two that we had in orientation just really had the best comments afterwards. And we spoke then of the culture, how we don't only just play volleyball. We're invited to happy hours. We're invited to engage with our residents and participate in their homes. So they were really excited to get onboarded because they were like, what's going to be next?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. So I do want to transition a little bit. Sydney, I'm going to call you out because for Emily, you know, her team was like well established and ready to go, and they just needed her there to ref and get it going. So, but with yours, Sydney, it was like brand new from the start that you were starting this. So do you want to talk a little bit about that and how you got it going?
For sure. I think that when we first became a part of the Arrow family and all of these new things, these new, you know, the traditions and all of the things were being added on. And volleyball to me seemed like one of the most daunting ones, just knowing my residents and what I can and can't get them to do with me. And so it was the slow start to begin. Like, they're like, why would we play volleyball? How are we going to do that? You know, so it definitely took a lot of encouragement from not just me, but also like my VOD at the time. She is now my ED. Sorry, little shout out. She helped so much. It became like her and I's thing. You know, we were cheerleaders and coaching them and, you know, obviously snagging the ball when it went out of bounds, and just really both of us making it such a big effort on like getting those residents, getting them excited. And also, obviously, with the new orientees, getting them involved, but also if, you know, we needed a few more people, grabbing whoever's walking by, hey, come play with us for 10 minutes, you know. It became such a thing that I have a resident, one in particular, that he's like, why can't we do volleyball every day? Well, we got to switch it up a little bit. I mean, there is, you know, such thing as too much of a good thing. But it's just become a really fun thing to watch them become involved with. I don't know. Definitely difficult at first, though. I can't lie. At least for my residents, it was not as easy as just putting it on the calendar and having, you know, 20 people show up. It took a lot of effort, both for me and the ones that were excited about it in the beginning. I'm like, recruit your friends, talk about it at lunch, you know, go knock on people's doors with me. Let's get everybody involved. So
it sounds like it's like the new bingo if they want to play every day. I like this a lot better.
Right. Me too, because it does not involve me yelling numbers and letters for an hour.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. And I think you know, what's your team like now? Do you guys ever play against other places yet, or are you still kind of internal?
So definitely still internal. That's actually something we're talking about, is trying to get out, at least either having our sister communities come to us or us visit them. Because we're still a new team, sometimes in our practice, you know, when it's just us, there's no orientation people, we're working on our control still, because I have a few that they just want to hit it into each other. I'm like, hey, remember, we're on the same team. We're working together. We want the ball to stay in the air as long as we can. So we'll do, you know, like a fun counting exercise. Like, how many times can we hit it before it hits the ground? So we're getting to where we're ready for some competition, but it just not exactly yet, if that makes sense.
I get it. I mean, I get it with the spiking. Zach just threw up here. Some of those residents have mean spikes sometimes. It's true.
Yeah, they scare me sometimes when orientation's happening. I'm like, yeah, I hope you guys are ready, because they're ready. They know what they're doing. They have their spots and their little tricks that they do. So, yeah.
I'll say, as a front row player, if you're playing in the front row and residents are behind you, just the other day, this happened to me. There was no orientation for that day, but the residents still wanted to play. I happened to be there on a visit, and I just jumped in and played. So they put me in the front middle row, and you gotta watch out. They can hit the ball pretty hard, and if you're not paying attention, yep, Katie, I got whacked a few times. Pay attention.
I love it. Amanda did throw up a question. I did mention this a little bit earlier, but can anyone talk a little bit about how Arrow communities are able to provide the team shirts to residents? Do residents have to pay for the shirts? So no, that is something we have been very fortunate to work with sponsors in the past. And usually therapy groups, but it could be any kind of sponsor if you are listening and want to sponsor. But that is actually how we get the funds for our beach ball shirts that y'all are wearing. So it's been great. The residents don't have to pay for them. They can just enjoy it. I mean, at least my perception is when you have a team logo and the team shirt, it gets you excited, makes you feel official. And I love, like, Emily, how you were mentioning, like, you have a travel team. Like, Sydney, that's what you need to call yours to get them hype to go travel. I think that'll be really cool.
I'll just write them with ice cream afterwards or something, and you'll be down for it.
There you go. I was going to say
a challenge to one of the, I mean, I'm studying at one of the Kansas City communities. You throw a challenge, like, loser has to, supply something, like take us out for desserts or something like that, like something fun.
That's
like
a fun idea.
Yeah. Anytime I go into the communities, job fairs, anything like that, and they're playing it, so far all the residents' interactions and what I'm hearing from is they love it so much. Don't take this away from us. This is so much fun. And we do have some communities, they're kind of out in no man's land. I mean, we are 42 communities strong, and some of them, they don't have a neighboring community. So it was a lot of, hey, have you tried the senior centers? Have you tried other senior living communities in your area? I know Westbury, their residents were like, we'll drive to Winsville. It's only an hour and a half from here. I mean, but they wanted to do that. I love the passion that they had.
That's incredible. Emily, were you going to add something?
Yeah, something Sydney said really stuck out to me. How you said, like, maybe the residents would like go door to door themselves and like get people. And I think that's one of the best ways to grow the team is when the residents find that pride in it. And like, that's too with like the shirts, like they have that sense of like, yeah, this is something that we're looking forward to. This is something we're so proud of. And I feel like there's, like we were talking about earlier, there's just so many benefits that I found outside of just like having fun. Someone in particular, I was thinking, had some range of motion issues, and they've been working with their physical therapist and told them about chair volleyball. And they were like, no, that's actually great as long as you're being safe. And their range of motion has really improved as far as like, reaching above their head and hitting it over the net. There's such a wide range of benefits that I feel it's provided for the residents. So
yeah, to piggyback on that, I think one of the best things that chair volleyball brings is a lot of these seniors were athletes in the past. And they no longer are going to be out there playing football, playing basketball, but this is still competitive and still using a lot of their skills. And on top of it, my first building, so you wouldn't have known them, my star player actually had a stroke. I had to sit him on the correct side so he could use his functioning arm, but he was killer. He was a spiker, and it gave him so much fulfillment because he couldn't do everything that he used to do, but now he was the star volleyball player. So it's just amazing what this game has done.
Don't we have a community that the resident doesn't participate in playing, but is like strictly the equipment manager?
Oh, I think so.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I think I've heard this story where they're like, I can't play, but I can be the equipment manager. If somebody's out there watching this and that's your community, please put it in the chat. I want to know. I'm not making.
I did not know that, but I love it. But I can say here at Stowe and at Solon, we've got a string of cheerleaders that don't want to play, but they love to cheer. And that's something good for them.
Rochelle said Parkway, so it must be Parkway. I was going to say Madison too. They have a resident who joined the team, and on game day, he has a sign on his apartment door that says like game day, come on, with the details and stuff. And I'm like, that's what they need, like kind of like your lockers in high school. Like you should have the game day signs to remind everyone. But I love it.
We kind of hit on safety, so I'm just going to touch a little bit on that. If anybody wants to talk about this a little bit, because people do get competitive. I mean, either be the employees and or the residents. We do want to make sure that our residents are being safe and our employees are being safe. That's why, I mean, there are the rules. Keeping your hiney in the seat can help that. I don't want Mar Walker. If anybody's met Mar Walker, who's our work comp, I don't want her on us either for the employees either. So there is a point. I love rules. Thank you. There is a point to be mindful if you are one of those captains of the team, being the ref, to make sure that our residents are safe during this play as well.
For sure. Yep. Good point.
Yeah, you would definitely find certain residents with certain habits, like pushing off their feet, which would make the chair rock. So you got to be mindful and watchful for those things and then correct. I actually had a therapist sit in once to help guide someone through some of his moves to make him more safe.
That's awesome.
I think chairs play a big role too. Make sure you're picking out good quality chairs that, a lot of rocking and moving is not going to tip over.
I always tell them that it's 2 points to the other team if there's any sort of a fall or anything. So that incentivizes them to be safe. So it's important.
I'm going to remember that because that is amazing. I love that.
Very cool. So with a few minutes left, now if there was somebody who's listening and wants to start this program in their community, what would your first piece of advice? I know, Sydney, you gave a little bit of advice. Maybe you have something else, but if everyone wants to give a little nugget of advice, that would be helpful.
I'll go first. If you come in with an enthusiastic attitude, everyone else is going to feed off of you. If you come in with a low-key attitude, that's the response that you're going to get. So if you come in, get the buy-in from your department heads, get the buy-in from those leaders in your community, you bring the funness with it, I think everyone else will follow.
Agreed. I would also say just like give yourself time. Like for me, I know it was a slow start, but definitely keeping the encouragement up, keeping it fun, because rules are fun, but also volleyball is just fun. So keep it fun and light and have a good time, and the team will happen.
I love that. Emily, Katie, anything from you?
I was just thinking, like, you can definitely get out of it what you put into it as far as your players. There's tons of residents in our communities with varying, levels of abilities, and just letting them know, hey, today's just going to be a fun practice. Like, we want everybody to be welcome. Even like our star players, can take a break from, every point matters and every rule matters. And I think that allows it, it opens a door to playing other communities that maybe, aren't that serious yet. We can all work together. It definitely is a whole team approach, and it can be fun for everybody.
For sure.
She said a lot what I was going to say. The many years I've done this, there's been so many ebbs and flows, and your team changes, and you kind of change on who you put together, and meet them where they're at. I found that to know what the residents want out of it. Some just wanted fun. Some wanted competitiveness. You put them in the right spots where they'll succeed. Sometimes the residents would take over, and, you kind of have to be the median to kind of guide to where it's going to work the best. We did at one point empower some residents to be the captains, and then we took that away for a bit. So it's really kind of a program that's always moving at all times, and you go with the flow. Meet them where they're at.
I love that. And I want to end with another thank you to Katie from Amanda. So thank you for inspiring the program. You have made such a great impact on the residents and employees of Aero communities. It's pretty cool how one person can cause such a ripple effect. So sweet. I love it. So I think we did it. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Next week, we're going to have Amanda and Buck on to talk about one of the best core values we have. Our answer is always yes. So come next week, same place, same time. But thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.